Hear ye, hear ye. This is a Swolecast shit show. We tried to hop in the same draft, but it finally happened. We are severed. Davis and I in one Best Ball Mania 4 draft, Kitchen in the other. We all have missions, and our producer has the ultimate mission today to toggle back and forth between two drafts. Steven, have a good show.
Can you see the static from the Swolecast? I was like, yep, that's me.
I just want you guys to know I'm total dust. I'm the problem.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Leave it to the guy with the crypto dunes, Abby, to not understand context.
I should have known you getting 30 likes was directly written by someone else.
You know me, I don't do a ton of research before the show.
I've put no research into this. Don't know if it's true at all.
You're on the right show.
To it, bro. Live a little.
Live a little.
Just live a little, guys.
Welcome everyone to this Swolecast. I have been, I don't know, I'm on the outside looking in. I'm in my own room, and Pete is in his own room, and Davis, of course, said, "Hey, Pete, can I come to your room and draft with you instead?" Pete, can you just tell people how this happened? Because it's not my fault at all.
I think it is your fault.
No, you said it might be some people in the chat's fault. They were
think
playing
it's your
chicken.
fault because Davis and I were ready to hop in a draft right at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and you were not.
No, you were not. You were right. If anything, I hopped on this show 30 minutes before with Devin.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
It still wasn't fixed?
30 minutes before, and then we thought we had it fixed, and then like 2 minutes before, something happened where it was, where something, I don't know what happened, but we got to figure it out now, and now we're in two different drafts.
It's on Devin to have a good show. Basically, what's happening is Dave is in his own draft, Peter and I in our own.
It's on Sosa
to have a good show. So this is me and Pete's draft. Pete and I have our missions. David has his mission. Peter starts CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown at the turn. I think kind of cowardly. Peter, I can already tell you're going to tell me this is a coward move. I took Kupp over Tyreek Hill, given that Tyreek is currently being investigated for slapping some guy at a marina this weekend. So
Here's
that's
the
where
thing,
we're at.
Davis. If that shouldn't be your reason. Cooper Kupp is a better pick than Tyreek Hill, regardless of the slapping. So I'm glad this news could force you to making the better pick regardless.
I feel extremely far too risk averse. That was an extremely risk averse selection for me there. So, take that for what it's worth. I'm about to trigger you even more with the selection I'm about to make here. I'm taking the big dog at pick 21 instead of Saquon Barkley.
First of all, our mission should have just been all getting in the same draft. That would have been kind of the first mission.
I'm so mad at you guys. You guys thought you had it. Pete, you said, okay, it's clear now. Davis said, okay, it's clear now. And you guys entered. How did both of you guys enter the same draft when you both said it was clear? That means there was only 10 of 12 filled.
Dave, what happened is your old man fingers were slow.
No. You thought that it was completely filled when in actuality it was only 10 of 12 filled. That's bad math. You had to do bad math.
No, it's the chat's fault. This is what they're doing. I did describe this before. They play chicken with it. They get in the room, and then right when it's about to fill, they dereg because they're trying to get in our draft room. So I did the math, and it had turned over. But right as I had done that, two people snapped deregged at the last second. And then Davis and I had two spots. We got in because we're quick on the trigger finger, and you got shut out. But why isn't your draft in the hopper?
Shocking that Sosa just told us he lost his screen share. So I just got to say, we can't really pretend to be all that shocked that the man who auto drafts every single draft was not quick on the trigger. I got a tough decision here. I took the big dog in Cooper Kupp. I'm going to take Metcalf over Ramondre to set myself up for more optionality with my stacks.
Have you done anything so far that would reveal your mission or hint at your mission, Davis?
No, none of these picks. Maybe in a very convoluted way, the big dog over Saquon could hint at my selection, but an extremely convoluted, like you got to get like 4 layers into the onion to get to how that would reveal my mission. What about you?
I don't want to. I think even answering that question might be too much of a hint, so I'm not going to reveal yet. But I would say you won't. I'll say that these two picks aren't any indication. I took the 2 top wide receivers based on ADP.
Why aren't you showing me the draft board?
Because I'm about to pick, Davis.
Oh my
Or you're talking about your draft board, Kitchen? Yeah, where's yours?
No, your draft board.
I'm about to pick. I need to see the selections.
Oh,
Why are you having such a hard time sharing your screen, Kitchen?
Oh, I'm not. I can do it easily.
yeah, totally. Real Peter would take Lamar and Watson here.
Real Peter?
Yeah. Not yeah. Okay, all right. That's got to be passing up on London for Judy in some way has to be a tell as well.
No, I mean, I will tell you right now, I'm Judy over London all day and twice. I got like my second share of London this morning.
That feels incredible. Okay, all right. Soccer Dave starts his draft with Patrick Mahomes and who'd you take in the first round? That's very early on Pat.
No, Patrick is second round. Bijan is first round. I am using the Spike Week thing, so you can see chose Bijan and Mahomes after that.
Kitchen, will you try something? Yeah. So I just sent you. I don't even know if this will work. Probably doesn't. But I sent you a link directly to my draft board in the chat. If you post this in one of your tabs, will this work? Do you see this live draft if you click that?
Let's see here.
It's in the StreamYard chat. You need to click on that and open that in a new tab in your Firefox.
Davis, not that big of a boomer.
Okay, so David just took Patrick Mahomes 6 spots ahead of ADP. That has got to relate to his mission in some way, right?
You don't know that.
So what would is it? Was it just elite QB, or does he need to do like a mega stack, maybe like 5 players on one team, and it's easy to get cheap Chiefs?
It's
doesn't
not
look
showing
like that's going to work.
Yeah.
All right. You need the FFPC style where you could just any link, you can view anyone's draft board.
I do. I love that about the FFPC. All right, Dave. Well, really just keep us updated. Let us know.
Yeah, let's just set the table for what these missions are for someone who, bless their hearts, they just now tuned in. Like, what is going on here? So what is going on is we are drafting these BBM4 teams. You can see Pete decided to have like 1,700 left in his account. I've got $7 left in my account.
I had to top off over the weekend.
Okay. So Davis and Peter are in their separate rooms, but they have individual missions that our producer Sosa gave to them. We don't know each other's mission. We have to guess based on the mission. Last week, Davis got the hard mission of 0 RB, which means that he didn't have to draft a running back till later on the draft. I was given 3 different teams to stack, and Peter was given the 4 tight end build. This week, it's completely different, and we have no clue what's going to happen.
I'll give one hint right now. I am massively failing my mission, and it might just be like a trip down to view the Titanic. It might just not be salvageable at this point.
You're laughing. You're laughing at the very concept of safety. They're being told you need to build the viewport strength for 4,000 meters, and you're building it for 1,500 meters, and just saying it's going to be fine. David is on the clock to make his 3rd pick with a start of Bijan and Patrick Mahomes. He's scrolling down the list, which indicates to me he has not thought this out. He just has not gamed out.
I've thought it out, but I had to obviously do some stuff.
So he's starting Bijan. What are we doing, dude? Okay, he's starting Bijan, Mahomes, Debo.
Yeah.
I thought you almost clicked Najee Harris there, which would have been draft the worst player in the NFL. that would have been a good mission.
I will say this: that Sosa gave me the mission and then said, "Shouldn't be that hard." And I was thinking,
famous last words for a kitchen mission,
right? For first time, But I have been drafting some on DraftKings. I also did 2 Chihuahuas yesterday. So I'm getting more and more acclimated to drafts, and I'm starting to create my own strategy and come up with my own like staple players. And as I mentioned it last week, from someone who's been a finalist in multiple best ball championships, you have to take stands on guys. You cannot just draft from ADP like Davis does. Davis, do you have your own custom rankings?
Yes.
You do?
And those
They're actually I'm going to publish them on the Patreon this afternoon, I think. I've been working through them on Underdog this week. But yes, I do, David. Why do you ask?
just curious. Because like I think you have to have your own rankings to fulfill like these missions that you're on, and also basically
Okay, Dave, what are we
You've lost the thread, Dave.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry. I was trying to draft.
What
But
is
no,
this team?
Okay, Dave.
What?
Oh, are you just okay? I've actually solved
happened?
it. Dave is just he's doing a bit. David takes Joe Burrow at pick 39, 6 spots ahead of ADP on a team where he took Mahomes,
What is 6 spots?
ahead
That's
of,
what, half a round. Who cares? Did you see who else I've drafted on this team?
no other Chiefs, no other Bengals. The only 2 players on his team that correlate are guys who you can only use one of their scores per week. So that's where we're at.
If I'm putting something together in my head right now that I wonder if Sosa did, and it completely blew up in his face when we didn't get in the same draft. Sosa, will you pop on screen and just say yes if that's the case?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Wow.
I'm so glad I'm not competing this dumb mission right now.
Peter, you're a genius, bud.
Dude, I knew it.
Because Peter saw my picks, and then Peter, was yours?
It would have been so good if you guys were in the same draft.
Oh, obviously you don't know.
Oh,
Expect the unexpected here on the Swolecast.
Here's the deal. Here's the reveal. We won't spell it all the way out, but you could probably infer Sosa gave Kitchen and I the same mission.
And someone in the chat actually said that last week. That's what they should do. And
Peter, I'm incredibly impressed by how you just opened.
Don't be impressed when you see what our missions are. It'd be like, yes, that is obvious and Pete said he's failing his mission. So
my mission should be obvious. My mission is solvable right now.
Let's see. Your mission is solvable right now. We got 2 Seattle players. We got 3 rookies.
Here, my next pick. Here. You'll solve it. You'll solve it right now.
Okay, rookies. But you mentioned that Derrick Henry, like in a backdoor way, also could
open your ninth eye and think about how Derrick Henry would correlate with these other players. Because this
Peter, can you run down Davis's team, because I'm having a hard time.
So Davis started Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, DK Metcalf. Seemed pretty standard Davis draft to start there, and then Jahmyr Gibbs, JSN, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson. So 4 straight rookies. I get the rookie thing. I'm trying to figure out how Henry plays into this.
Who does Derrick Henry play in week 18 or week 17?
Houston. So you're going to have rookie quarterbacks.
It's just you got it. You're right there. It's on the tip of your tongue.
All right. Well, we got to drag the listeners on a little bit here.
Yeah. I do want to get to some house cleaning items. Please like this video and leave a comment. I have been blown away by all the comments that people are continuing to leave on this show.
Here you go.
There we go. We got some correlation.
We're working out my Chiefs Bengals stat.
Same.
David?
Oh, Sosa. Bless his heart. Bless Sosa's heart. He thought that he had one-upped us. And
He didn't realize we're idiots and we're going to get this tape.
It would have been so good too. Like you guys would have figured it out still early, but you would be competing. Someone was going to lose.
Lost Cosmonaut, great. Lost Cosmonaut, great comment. Imagine like the 3 Swolecast audio only listeners trying to follow this fucking nightmare that's happening right now.
So we're back on it. People that are listening, Davis and Pete are in their own drafts. Davis has drafted a bunch of rookies and Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp. And Pete and I have
Can
the
I
same
pull back the curtain? I legitimately don't know. How many audio downloads do we get on average for the Swolecast pod feed?
I think I can share this because we're actually having meetings during the football season. We had 56,000
over the course of the whole season
of the football season, and we had.
I was gonna say if we're getting that per episode, we can all just quit our jobs and do this.
We had 96,000 YouTube views over the course of the season. So that was just in that time period. But as we know, we are on the way to 10K. We had like 80 people that subscribed last week. If we keep that up, the sky's the limit right here.
Thank you, Steve, for giving me the answer in the chat. A little over 1,300 last week.
So for the audio listeners, my team through 8 rounds is Anthony Richardson, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, and Quentin Johnston.
So you really needed Anthony Richardson, like, because you did not want to get stuck into just like a Stroud.
You don't really want with the guys I have, you don't really want to land yourself in Geno Kirk as your only guys. Anthony Richardson is he is the deodorant when you miss out on all the elite quarterbacks because someone in your room took Patrick Mahomes at 15.
So is your mission to hit a certain amount of wide receiver rookies? It didn't matter where you drafted them.
No, it was vague. Maybe we need to have Sosa give exact quotas or something close to it.
No, here's what we're gonna do. Sosa has lost his privilege to give us missions for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he has.
Last week, Davis 0 RB gives me 3 separate teams to stack. This week tries to dupe us by giving us the same mission. Next week, we're going to put them on a randomizer wheel. We're going to put all this stuff on a randomizer wheel, and then we're just going to spin the wheel individually before the show, and that way Sosa cannot take any of the blame for this.
That's fair. So I just want to let the viewer know that I took the missions verbatim from Soccer Dave.
What do you mean?
You gave us a list. I'm taking the exact things from the list.
I never said more specific. It was both the same mission. I never said that.
Oh, I never said you did.
That was a little Sosa special sauce.
That was the special sauce.
Yeah, and I'm saying these different missions. And if you want to leave comments in the chat as far as like ideas for missions, but what I was saying is like different strategies, different teams. I don't want to give away like what's going to be an epic episode, I think, later on this year. But
an epic episode of the Swolecast?
Yeah, it will be. It's just going to require a lot of help. So, but yeah, if you have any ideas, we're just going to all put them on a randomizer wheel and then just go for it. And it's not going to be where every pick is randomized with outlandish things like some shows have had. These are just going to be like legit drafting strategies and see if you can do it. That's all it is.
Oh, FF Doom has a good one. Dave drafts off ADP instead of vibes. I like that idea.
I mean, that's
wow. I have
ADP
so many.
Is like the antithesis of living a little.
Man, I have so many stacking options here. I could also go Dak. Man.
Hey, Dak plays indoors, buddy. Haven't you heard about El Nino?
Yeah, I think, man, I think I'm going to get buried at running back if I wait to come back to 132.
Aren't you worried about Dalvin Cook, bro?
Why? What does Dalvin Cook have to do with my picks?
He's rumored to be going to Denver.
All you Dalvin Cook location truthers need to make up your mind, because whenever I draft a Miami Dolphin running back, you say, aren't you worried? Now I'm drafting Denver running backs. When I draft the Jets running backs, I'm told, aren't you worried? You guys got to pick one and stick with it.
I aren't you worry every pick for every reason. You constantly need to be worrying. I think Dalvin Cook is week one. I think Dalvin Cook is Latavius Murray. I think he's going to be unsigned.
Yeah.
So David, your mission.
He has to wait for an injury. He needs an injury.
So David's mission was to stack Kansas City, Cincinnati. He did so by taking every player ahead of ADP. I mean, he's also
last week. I learned last week that you can't at the 10 spot. It's really tough to stack Cincinnati and.
Why do you think I've refused to do the mission from the 12 spot?
Right. Davis doesn't know.
Well, yeah, you can't do it from the 12. You can easily do it from the 10. But I mean, Dave auto drafted Elijah Moore.
No,
Classic.
I started him. It's Elijah Moore instead of Brandon Cooks. I started him because I have learned my lesson. People are seeing personal growth week by week in this chat, and that's me. So
the only reason you took Elijah Moore is because he catches balls from your favorite human being on the entire planet, Deshaun Watson.
Who loves Deshaun Watson. Dave, what I've learned from watching Dave draft is that the thing he likes most is just having no projectable wide receiver points. Like, what he really enjoys is coming out of a draft just being like
having a little spike week. Bro, like
you just gotta, David's just like, look, dude, you never know. Elijah Moore might be who you need in like weeks 5 and weeks 9.
Okay, can we talk about the whole live a little, you just don't know thing? Because I heard Leone last week on Ship Chasing say that he actually loves that moniker. Like, he loves that idea.
The king of ADP Value Nation loves the live a little motto.
The king. No, Herzig is the king of ADP Nation. Herzig is the undisputed king of ADP Nation, but Leone's pretty close.
But this goes back to, like, aren't you worried? You can't draft him because of weather. And people were saying this in the Swolecast chat in the Kingdom, the Deposit Kingdom Discord. And so I went and looked up Christmas Day in Cleveland. Yes, 2 of the past 4 years, there have been snow showers, right? But there have also been 2 times in the past 4 years where the weather in Cleveland has been in the 50s on Christmas Day. Again, you're telling a story with your lineup. I think Cleveland has a lot of value on their team. Does that mean I agree with everything that Deshaun Watson has done? Clearly, no. But for people that are not drafting because he had a bad year last year or because of the weather, give me a break. The weather bros can.
The point is that you just don't know.
You don't. And so you have to tell a story with your lineup.
You just don't know. And so that's why the real key thing you need to do per Soccer Dave's draft strategy is just completely wait on wide receiver, because you just don't know. So just take whoever.
No, but I will say this. It is, if you miss out on Kelsey, because trust me, I did this with a Chihuahua yesterday. It's easy to stack.
The chat just got such a good one. The story Dave's lineup is telling is that he's hoping for global warming.
That's so good. Can we also give a shout out to Dingus, who's in both of these drafts with us?
These people, dude. These people.
Dude, how did this guy get in both drafts with us?
He's like hedging his bets. He wants to.
He was just clicking, bro. He was just clicking. He knows when it's Swolecast time.
Yeah, so the reason I was wrestling so much with the Dak or Daniel Jones is because I knew Goff would likely be here, and Herzig told me I can't take Goff and Dak in the same game. So Goff does fall to me here. I'll grab him stacked up with Amon-Ra and grab Kendrick.
I spend about 8% of my waking day going back and forth on the quarterbacks from the same Week 17 game.
It's a mind fuck.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because you go like, well, then if one of them, scores a rushing touchdown and you have exposure to the highest game, and then it's like, okay, well, I want some outs if the game I really stack has bad weather, and you just go back and forth forever.
I was able to pick up Sky Moore, so picking up some of these Spike Week guys, Elijah Moore, Sky Moore.
Yeah,
Elijah. I love how you just skip over Alden Lazard.
Well, Lazard is one of them.
You got to give Kitchen, like, we all have like our brand, and like a draft has like a theme to it. Like you can like tell a Davis draft, a Pete draft. Kitchen is so erratic with his drafts that he'll go back to back Allen Lazard and then draft like the buzziest guy from camp and Sky Moore.
I think it's just because
you guys are not giving me credit. Who does Elijah Moore play in Week 17?
The Jets.
Hello,
yes.
The Jets. Correlate those. I still stack for my mission.
Will you do me a favor? I do want to circle back on something someone highlighted. You, of course, do have your Spike Week overlay. Will you go to the player box and type in Watson? I do want to check your exposure.
I haven't uploaded a CSV, so I haven't uploaded the CSV.
Well, someone said they did notice there was an existing number in there, Kitchen, and you've only done like 3 drafts.
but this was after 3 drafts. I have done more, and thank you.
Yeah, have you done more, Kitchen?
I have.
What have you done?
My account says $7. So what does that tell you?
How much did you put in?
I've spent $43 in the past. I did the winner take all because that's kind of my brand.
How is that your brand?
We'll just live a little. Trying to.
If Dave will just say whatever, and then he's just like, yeah, if you just live a little, that's my brand.
Well, that is like, if you throw that in there, you are just living a little. Like that is, you are donating basically. It was
there's real strategy changes when it is that top heavy, and the final is that size.
Top heavy, it's winner take all, Davis.
Super smooth payout structure.
Yeah.
Second through 50th.
Also, if you really think about it, every underdog contest really is winner take all at the end of the day.
Have you seen this Chihuahua structure, Davis? I mean, this thing is smooth as Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
I really backed myself into a corner here on this team at running back and at tight end.
How are you feeling about Chig these days, Davis?
I mean, he's fine. The Titans are just going to be so bad passing the ball, but he should score some touchdowns. This is going to be a 3 tight end team.
FF2, live a little, lose a lot.
If just Dave, what I want to know is if Dave just gets so kajumbled doing these live drafts that I like, Dave, if you're just locked in, it's just you and your phone, you're hanging out, like, are your teams better than this? Are you able to sort of keep your focus?
Sure.
Sure.
I tweeted out a team last week in that winner take all. That was pretty awesome. So,
man, Dingus takes my Irv Smith. I literally can't complete this mission. You're killing me, Dingus.
You gotta set it up. You have to take MBS and Richie James and Chase Brown.
Dude, I got to reach for Sammy Laporte's. He ain't coming back.
I do love Sosa giving you guys a mission where the 2 quarterbacks are gone before pick 40, and having you compete
when he said
over them.
Should be easy, I should have known, because I'm like, stacking both those two, you got to have like a high draft pick to like effectively.
No, you can get Burrow. You can get Burrow for mini slot.
Yeah, but who are you drafting with him, Davis?
if you have to do it late, you do Boyd and Irv.
This is what I'm saying. It's not exactly like the easiest, and then you're taking into the account Kansas City, and he said it should be easy. It's not easy. If I didn't have all this experience under my belt, my team would be looking really bad right now.
It is. I actually think Dave's live drafts are a great illustration of a concept that we all sort of know, which is that the amount of variance inherent in best ball is beyond anything like our little brains can comprehend. And so seeing Dave draft these teams on stream, knowing he's gotten multiple teams to a final, it should really help you believe that you too can succeed.
But Davis, I mean, roast my team right now. You can't. You can't. I have done the mission, and then the other players are Bijan, and then the mini stack of Moore and Lazard, and then Kittle and Okonkwo. Oh, and Debo.
Your team is god awful. I mean, it's really bad.
It's not. It's god awful if you're like going by what you were saying, like, oh, you can't draft 6 spots ahead of ADP. The fact that you say that multiple times per stream just means that you still do not get it. You still don't understand the concept of rankings and ADP. 6 spots ahead of ADP is a half a round, bro. Live a little.
Dude, I did want to circle back to the rankings thing. I feel like making one set of rankings is doable. It's the idea of constantly updating them that sounds miserable.
Yeah, I mean, I have a set of rankings that I'm gonna put out, and we'll see. Davis, I'll just live a little with the rankings.
You're almost at you talk about how you want to win one of these tournaments so you can draft the absolute automatics leg up sequel. You're basically already doing everything that Pat does now. If you're doing rankings too, you're basically already doing it.
I mean, so like Pat is obviously the promise is implicit that like he will be updating them every single day. So like I do these things for my own edification. Like the dynasty rankings was like, yeah, I'll do that with you, Pat. This is not a promise that I'm going to update them, weekly or whatever, but I'll do this project. We'll do this podcast. And I wanted to do the rankings after talk. I did on the best ball boardroom with Herzig last week. And I kind of just wanted to go through the exercise because we talked about it. And I kind of wanted to go through the exercise of seeing where I think ADP is really wrong. Mm-hmm. And so it was a good exercise to do anyways, I think. Yeah, I don't know. We're vibing, dude. We're vibing.
No, honestly, that is the best answer. And that is people are paying and expecting Pat to update his, and no one is going to be like hounding you on like a Sunday night to adjust.
Right.
Tyreek
Like
Hill's
people
ADP
who subscribe to the Takecast Patreon, they get bonus podcast episodes, they get some nerdy shit. And then basically wherever my curiosity for that week goes, like I post, sometimes it'll be golf bets, sometimes it'll be rankings, dynasty rankings, whatever. Like we're just vibing. It's not like I don't have a fucking customer service hotline like Pat
and
does.
For people that they don't have a history of the Swolecast, Davis was one time paid to do rankings by salary cap site. Well, he was actually paid by me to do rankings for that salary cap site.
Except no, why don't we actually really get into what happened, which is that you subcontracted me out because you were hired to do
That's what I just said.
To do rankings, and I fucked it off because it wasn't important, and I knew it wasn't important.
And what did Davis do? He took DraftKings rankings wasn't even the same salary cap.
David, you're not even right. I just moved every third guy. I just changed the salary of every third guy.
But you had to have like a baseline is what I'm saying.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Let me get back to football. Are we buying this Paris Campbell shit?
Absolutely not. I mean, every
guys, you don't know this, but he's going to be leading the Giants in receptions.
I knew there was one person on this show who'd be buying it.
There's Dave just checks the Roto World player blurbs like once a week, and he sees a good Paris Campbell blurb, and he's like, I know that name.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know what you're going to do with the Giants receivers. I've been drafting a lot of Hyatt, but like
Hyatt is like playing on the third team right now.
Okay.
So, Dave, is your basic
are you-
supposition?
Yeah.
Is your sort of your working theory of fantasy football that it's all unknowable, it's all opaque, and therefore having any opinion based in data or reporting is bad, and you should just take who you think is good at
No, I just told you I'm looking for high upside guys, and I'm also.
But how do you define that? How does someone meet the criteria of being high upside?
So like who is it? Oh, Greg Dortch, right? For Arizona.
Not a high upside player. Extremely
Right, exactly.
low.
I would rather go for
upside.
Michael Wilson. So you're thinking about like a.
But what would make
receiver.
Michael Wilson?
I'm thinking about a guy who can get 15 to 20 points in a game. Jalen Hyatt is the reason why I do that, because if you watched him at Tennessee, what was he good at? Catching the long ball. And I'm not sure with the fluky offense that Tennessee runs in college if that's going to translate 1-to-1, but it's worth a late round pick to me. DJ Chark, worth a late round pick to me, because I think that in that offense with Bryce Young, who's going to be a better quarterback than what people think, I'm higher on Bryce Young than the field.
Based on what?
His personal rankings.
Exactly. And watching him at Alabama.
But you just don't know.
You just don't know, but that's where I'm taking a stand. Like last year when I took a stand on Jalen Hurts and Chig.
David famously was the only guy taking a stance on Jalen Hurts.
Well, that's what I asked. I mean, I actually took a stance on, Mostert. He was another guy that I took a stand on.
But David, if we just don't know, how can we determine who has a high ceiling and who doesn't?
Because you have to come up with that yourself. And Davis, you don't come up with that. Your thing is, I'm going to let ADP tell me what I should do.
I know you didn't answer the question. You didn't. The question was not answered.
Well, we just don't know. It has to do with like basically you debunking the trend. That's the whole point.
This team is, I much like I wish DraftKings had a surrender button for a bad week in a PGA lineup. Dave, are you wishing that there was a surrender button for this draft where you could just get this one refunded?
Why?
If you could get this draft refunded right now, would you?
No.
All right, good for you.
I've got probably the highest game total stacked in week 17. So if some of these players that I'm placing bets on get there, for instance, I'm drafting Paris Campbell right now. In the 16th round, he could lead the Giants in receptions. If you're reading
Hey! I'll give you Paris Campbell to lead the Giants in receiving at even money.
Hang on, I'm gonna stick the landing on this draft with the
two
picks here.
You're selling me.
Here we go. First of all, this one's for Davis. Tutu Atwell, the bring back on my Daniel Jones stack, week 17, and then to honor Sosa, who gave me a mission to stack up the Chiefs and the Bengals. Can I interest you in a little Kadarius Toney, Travion Williams?
Are you kidding me? That's the only people you. That's the only.
He lands the plane.
I landed it, Dave.
Oh
it's
my!
Ambiguous.
If you look at my playoff view, you can see Mahomes, Burrow, Mixon, Pacheco, Sky Moore, Rice, Irv Smith. Just freaking staples of this game, and you've got
staples.
Dave, I mean, the stacking, it's, a lot of people haven't found like a universal definition for it.
No,
I'd like to think Kadarius Toney and Travion Williams could capture like 90% of the points.
Sosa, did you say mini stack or did you say game stack?
Please
because
don't.
This is not Sosa. A game stack.
Kitchen, it was invalid. The whole prompt, the spirit of the prompt was us in the same draft room. And you ruined that.
The only thing that gives me hope, and maybe we should go 50-50 on both of our drafts, is because
you actually swap equity.
I don't have any Toney or Travion, and you don't have anybody else from the game that I have.
Let me see your team.
Katie Abels just had the greatest comment in the history of the Swolecast. ADP is just peer pressure, which is honestly, I think it's beautiful. I think that should be Dave's new motto.
I mean, I said it last year. You're just like caving to you're trying to be like medium. You're trying to be average. That's literally
what do you think last year's
ADP?
What do you think last year's Best Ball Mania champion, 2.5, $2 million richer? What do you think Pat thinks about ADP?
Who cares?
Who cares? We just don't know.
I mean, why am I trying? I try to get like collectively like people's thoughts, but if Pat's saying you have to draft by ADP, I'd say, well, you're a little bit of a donkey. Like if that's if that's how you're wanting to win, like it won't happen again.
It won't happen again. Dave calling a shot that Karain will not repeat as champion of Best Ball Mania.
100%. It will not happen again.
Kitchen, do you think Underdog should throw out like default ADP? Should it just be like alphabetical unless you upload your own ranks?
No.
Why not?
Because anyone drafting purely by ADP is a fish and is like EV for everybody else.
Dave is bum hunting on the Swolecast. He's bum hunting
you
us.
You want to draft by ADP, you're going to end up like Davis on a show with other best ball finalists and trying every year to figure out the magic formula and being like, I don't know why. I've entered so many drafts and still I can't make a final. Buddy, I'm trying to tell you. All right. You guys heard about this Pierre Strong guy?
I have.
Dave's
him over Ty Chandler.
Dave is sort of this fascinating goldfish study of like what happens when someone exclusively, all he knows about best ball is what people are tweeting. All he knows is what he literally sees 8 minutes
Davis,
a week
that's
on
why
Twitter.
I represent the common person. You realize you realize not everybody is going into PFF and trying to figure out what happened. Like I'm looking at all the people that are saying stuff. I don't know if you saw the thread comments between Joe Holka and Sal Vetri, but one of the guys that they're high on, I think it was DJ Shark.
I love the idea that threads are for the common man. Threads are for people who don't have time to go to PFF, which means that Dave is getting a vast amount of his information from Holka and Sal Vetri. Like that is a really good bit equity to me.
Davis, you literally just put out a thread last week. And
Davis, you're in the thread group chat. You've already admitted it.
I told you that Sal Vetri had over 100,000 followers.
And that got me to work. We got me to work.
Next day, you put out a thread.
Because I can't get outworked by Sal Vetri, dude.
So how many threads do you put out a day?
Like 3 a week.
Yeah, so you're getting outworked by Vetri then.
Well, it's hard because I don't want to do the very low hanging fruit. Like people really like,
Davis wants to do just slightly higher fruit above that. Just an extra inch above.
Yeah.
Davis is doing the highbrow threads. Leave the
No, Leone does the highbrow threads and they get like 4 retweets.
That's the thing is I want the happy medium between draft these 3 players in the first 3 rounds to supercharge your fantasy team and the Leone game theory ones that get Leone's information certainly is better than mine, but people are just they're not that
Can I
into
give
it.
a controversial take? Why do you want a shit ton of Twitter followers? I don't even think there's a direct path to monetizing that in an obvious way. I would be spending my time on other platforms if you're trying to hack algorithms. Like you can't even convert people on Twitter to click links. Like they don't even let you get link clicks out the way that they use the algorithm.
It's actually, so it's sort of like, it's multi-tiered. The first being that it does help to some degree maybe not direct. I tweet this podcast link, but just the more people having eyes on the work you're doing. But the other thing is that in this day and age, you got to have a social media following to do, like, were I to leave my job and do whatever in the future, I could get way better affiliate deals by having a larger social media following. You're going to get higher CPA and better percentages if you have more social media followers.
Right.
But,
I mean, what you're describing are vanity metrics versus like actually being able to leverage a huge audience on Twitter.
Well, Nick Bird hit it, which is that I don't care about money. I need the sweet, sweet dopamine. And Nick Bird has read me like a book.
This audience is good at seeing right through our bullshit and cutting to our core selves.
Right. And this is why I've loved seeing all these comments on the video. They are. Dave
loves the comments that he is almost that directly influences. Yeah.
It is. Do you want to throw out just why people should comment and like and subscribe, Peter?
Well, you should really comment just out of the goodness of your own heart because of how much joy this show gives you and how much joy David Kitchen rambling about best ball game theory gives you. But if you did hypothetically need to be incentivized, leaving a comment will get you an entry into my $1,500 giveaway when my channel hits 15,000 subs on a platform where you can actually monetize it.
Yeah.
The thing I love the most about this show is every week getting a lecture on game theory from David. Like, you could tell he's just thought so much about the game of best ball and what you need to be doing with
until you understand that you cannot make a championship by drafting strictly by ADP and criticizing others for going 6 spots ahead of where their ADP is. 6. Not even a full round, 6. Then I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're just going to have to learn the hard way. As a parent, there are some times where I know that if there's immediate danger that's really going to hurt my kid, of course, I'm going to steer them away from it. But if it's something that I've told them multiple times and they still go towards that, they just have to learn with their own experience. And I hope that's eventually what happens.
I think it'd be really fun. What if we each gave each other a thread mission, and it's not just like a bit, like write up your top 10 favorite fruits, but like a fantasy football thread, like actual actionable thing. But we know that it came from this show. People watching this know, but sometime between the next week, we each have to do a fantasy football strategy thread on Twitter.
You've heard Soccer Dave say live a little. What does that mean? Let's investigate 4 ways that you can live a little more. I would
read the shit out of a live a little best ball thread.
Sure, I'll do that.
I think we go in the lab. We each get by the time we get on this show next week, we each have to have done a thread.
David is not going to do this. David is.
I'm 100%. I will do it.
Dave needs ideas for content. Like, Dave is very excited about this.
This gives
me or David?
Me. Yeah, and so we have to write our own thread. Thank you. I did want to put this out there.
Dietrich again, people got his shirt. Amazing.
I just people say they don't exist.
Can't see Kitchen while we talk about this. Go ahead.
But yeah, the shirts exist and they are being shipped out.
I was stunned when I saw that in the Swolecast channel in the Deposit Kingdom. I thought that was the ultimate bit, that someone is actually shipping out these shirts now.
Oh, guys, we should reveal our missions and the teams that we drafted.
We did go through those drafts fast. Davis, I think our draft was done in like 37 minutes.
Yeah, it was done. It was done pretty quickly because we didn't have Soccer Dave going all the way to the end of every clock. So can you share? Can you share your screen, David?
This is my screen.
Okay, why don't you share your team so Peter can roast it?
Okay.
It's going to be hard for me to roast the team that I was supposed to draft for the mission.
You know what? Peter, I don't think you would have drafted this team. I'm going to be honest.
My team is not bad. I've got Mahomes and Burrow.
David, this team is dog shit.
No, it's not. It's not. I got Mahomes and Burrow. And then I've got...
You got Mahomes and Burrow, of whose points you can use one maximum.
And then I've got Bijan, Mixon, Pacheco.
Your best case scenario every week with this team is that you cannot use the points from your 4th round pick.
Alan Lazard, wide receiver 3.
Debo, Moore, Lazard, known for catching long balls from Rodgers. Sky Moore, who every report out of camp says he's having a much better camp than last year. Rice, you just don't know. Really, he could be the next Tyreek. We just don't know. You've got DJ Chark. DJ Chark, I don't know why he's being drafted this low, but it is criminal. If I have a thread, he will probably be on it. Hint. Paris Campbell, this week, people said that they were he might lead the team in catches, right, for the Giants. So, and then Chase Claypool, another guy who I think injuries hobbled him last year when he went to the Bears, but we've seen...
I like that mini correlation with Bijan. It was the one good pick you made.
Chase Claypool is like going to get cut.
No, he's not, Davis. You don't know. All right.
That hasn't made it. Chase Claypool being the biggest disappointment of Bears OTAs didn't make it to Normie Twitter.
Hey, Kittle, Chig, and Herb Smith. If you're not on Chig yet, then you haven't been listening to me for the past year and a half here on the Swolecast.
I don't know why, but Chig exactly at ADP is just very funny.
It is really funny.
It's at ADP. It's at ADP, but not for me. For me, in my rankings, he's like, I got value on him because I have him.
There's closing line kitchen value. There's CLV, real time ADP value, and kitchen value.
Kitchen has Chig as tight end 5.
Chig and Shark are 100% going to be on that thread. Davis. You also have Chig.
Yeah.
On your
where did I take him?
I don't know. Was it 6 spots behind ADP?
Oh, 11 spots at ADP value. Now that's a nice looking Chig right there.
That's some kitchen line value.
All right. So let's look at your team.
Roast me. What was my mission, Dave?
Hold on. I need to pull it up on the big screen.
His eyes are failing him.
I've got a huge screen. All right, now I can see. All right, so your mission. Okay, there's a Seattle.
My team is Anthony Richardson, Geno Smith, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, Zach Charbonnet, Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, JSN, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, Nico Collins, Marvin Mims, Josh Downs, Chig, Michael Mayer, and Hunter Henry.
Davis, I like this team.
Yeah, it's all right. If you're in it might be a little light at running back.
Really? See, it's I know the teams you post, and I feel like you always have 6 RBs when I feel like you're good at 5. Like this feels like the perfect running back room to me, but I always go lighter than you. But this looks
Sam's
nice.
Research basically found that even in the later rounds, the spike week stuff actually favors the running backs more than you'd think. And I expect it to tilt that way even more this year because wide receivers are being drafted so aggressively.
The one thing I guess you could say is your wide receivers could get off to very slow starts when you were so rookie heavy. So I would want more wide receivers in a super heavy rookie build.
I think you can do that when you have Cooper Kupp because Kupp might be the opposite where Kupp might, they might be 3 and 10 or whatever. And he rolls his ankle and that's just curtains for him.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's my mission, guys?
On Davis's mission.
I mean, it had to have been like draft 8 rookies. Half your team had to be rookies.
It was just rookie heavy, but I really pushed it. Obviously, I was like, because that mission is so nebulous. So I was like, I'm just gonna really push it.
Shout out to Davis and Kitchen for both completely completing their mission. You did get to 50% rookies on this team, Davis. 9 rookies.
And obviously, like, Mims, probably I would not have taken him normally completely unstacked. I guess he, they had a 0.3 correlation with Quentin Johnson or whatever. Probably would have taken a vet there because JSN's probably going to be really bad for like the first 6 weeks of the season.
Were you pissed I sniped you on Laporta?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted him. I got kind of caught at tight end, which is why I took 3. I was going to take CJ Stroud. That was the hint with the Derrick Henry in a very convoluted way attached to the mission, but couldn't afford to go 3 quarterback on this team.
Yeah. Sosa's saying if any of our teams win, he gets a cut. That only works if you are also assuming some of the negative ROI as well. Like
what Kitchen is saying is, you've seen his account balance. Please send him $12.50 for this draft. David, you want to roast my team? The people love it when you roast my teams.
Yeah. All right. So Peter's mission was to stack Kansas City and Cincinnati. So he did that by taking a running back who's not going to make the Bengals in Travion Williams and the consensus worst pick at ADP, Kadarius Toney. He lived a little by taking Daniel Jones ahead of ADP instead of Dak Prescott, who gets to play indoors. He did the same thing that Sean McVay did and settled for Jared Goff. He started off, obviously, with a great anchor running back, the running back 2 for the Seahawks in Kenneth Walker. Peter is not worried about ancient Dalvin Cook returning. He took Taysom Hill's handcuff and Kendre Miller. Devin Singletary's worked out so great for everyone the last 4 years. He just had to gobble him up there. A wide receiver, classic Pete team, pissing yellow with notorious beta wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or as I like to call him, Fancy Keenan Allen. Christian Watson, according to Twitter, has a higher ceiling than even Randy Moss. Peter, much like David, is just reading these Twitter blurbs, gobbling them up. Russell Wilson, a famously well-adjusted individual, got to get his wide receiver 1 and Jerry Jeudy. Peter drafted a guy who's had the same amount of NFL touchdowns as him last year, Deontay Johnson, ahead of ADP. I don't know if that's what David meant by living a little. I think David would tell you Deontay Johnson maybe doesn't have the ceiling you need. I picked 60. Then he took 2 guys in the NFL who shorter than me, Wan'Dale Robinson and Tutu Atwell. At least Wan'Dale leads the NFL in dog per centimeter. And of course, he had to not live a little and match up his stacks. Few picks after ADP with Darren Waller, and then he had to cuck me with Sam Laporta. Absolutely brutal pick of Sam Laporta. I really needed him to tie the room together.
Davis, given that Pete's mission was to do a Kansas City Cincinnati stack, what would you grade him just on the mission alone?
I mean, F- because I'm pretty sure I'm
It's a D. It's a D.
No,
Come on.
no, you did not. You did not draft in the spirit of the mission.
No, of course, but an F is no Chiefs or Bengals. I get a D on this.
D-. Okay. I'm going to give you
I'll take it.
Well, Davis probably knows this.
David is living. David is living so much he just killed his microphone.
Sorry,
Our loss.
I just noticed. I don't know why I'm talking to a whatever, but basically, Davis asked for, or Pete asked for extra credit at the end of the end of the draft just to get him to a passing grade. That's why you get a D-.
Yeah.
But really,
I mean, it's really, Dave, this is the highlight of my week. Watching you find ways to continually get Rashee Rice as your wide receiver 3 is the true highlight of my week, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
as always, Davis, I am happy to calculate ROI at the end of the best ball season to see which one of us had the most ROI, taking into account.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
But also
$250 side bet greater ROI.
I want you guys to get a Zach versus Herzig-esque best ball bet.
But what I was about to say is also factoring in time spent.
My
like
time
David,
is worth nothing, Dave.
Okay. Well, you're going to tell me I used to pay you by the hour. So, all right. Final thoughts, Peter?
Just fix your mic. Kitchen.
I don't know. I changed the video and then something happened. I don't know what.
The behind the scenes is Kitchen was in the StreamYard hopper 30 minutes before the show started to get this figured out. We still
Not just
couldn't land
Kitchen. Not just Kitchen.
a lot of blame
Devin.
being thrown around these days.
Devin also was, and I have to throw Sosa under the bus. Yesterday, Devin was in the office, and I said, "I'm sure Sosa talked to you about the audio issues in the conference or in the streaming room," and he said, "No, Sosa hasn't told me anything about that." And I said, "Well, we're having some issues," and so that's why we tried to replace everything, but obviously, when I changed the camera setting, something happened. So, all right.
Can I
Davis?
do one? Can I say one
Yeah.
thing for Davis and
Sure.
Davis? I know all this is complete bit aside, but sorry about your pup. I saw your tweet, and I anytime you posted photos of her, I always loved that dog. So I'm very sorry for your puppy loss.
Such a good dog, bro. When is Rudman gonna launch the Saint Bernard? It should be.
I thought about that.
Should be single entry, $111 or something like that. I'm in there.
All rate goes to Davis Maddox underdog account.
it's just rake back for how much I'm costing them in cardio club because I'm just doing all my drafts as cardio clubs.
But
and
I'm sorry about that.
I also want to say sorry about that, Davis. People know. If you
Hey,
listen,
she knew how to live a little, dude. She was not drafting off ADP, guaranteed.
And I want to shout out a listener named Brandon who sent me a pretty awesome DM, and I won't go through it all, but he said, "I can't tell you how much listening to the Swolecast each week brought a smile to my face, even in the darkest times of my life." So, we do silly stuff on here, and if you are listening and laughing, then maybe getting a little bit of info from this show, then you have accomplished a lot. Mission accomplished there. All right, I think that will do it. Leave a comment.
I mean,
Tell
this
us
is
what
the
you-
leading best ball theory podcast, David. Not only are we lightening people's lives, but this is like when people want to think about the theory, when they want to think about thinking, this Swolecast is where they come.
Yeah. And if you think that there's only one line of thinking that wins championships in fantasy, then you're Davis Maddox. So that will do it for the show. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to producer Sosa for trying.
I do want to give Sosa a shout out. He did good toggling back and forth.
He did.
on the
We
draft
got to
boards.
give him. We got to give him.
give you your flowers.
Yeah, we got to get flowers there because that was. We should have just prepared for that. Obviously, for old man David's thumbs to get in slower, but Sosa, you did good.
Literally did it when you said it was full. It was only 10 of 12. I do not want to take the fall.
Your
for
mic
this
quality is so bad right now.
one. All right, screw you. All right, that will do it. See you later. Peace.